Let's get this show started. Do we have audio? Let me set this up over here so I can hear it. This is What's Up Dave, my daily stream where I'm just saying hi to my friends and getting caught up on the day. So usually I start with show and tell. Show and tell today, nothing really to talk about other than getting the Emergent Task Planner pads set. Last week, or what last week was theme, was working on my own stuff, so I've been working on the new design for the ETP. This is version 4, finalized. I asked people on Twitter what they thought, got their opinions, asked them questions and got some answers. And then I had to make the cover sheets for these. Is this the right one? That's the wire-bound notebook. Yeah, so these are the new sheets for the that will go in front of the pads. And then I also had to update the instruction sheet because it has a design on it. But it turns out we were able to print these on the back. So since I'm now using these cover sheets for everything, so I can have the front side be this, and then the back side be that. And it shouldn't cost that much more extra because I think the cost goes into the handling of the paper, less so than the ink. So I can do these print on demand, and that should be pretty cool. So there was also an error I discovered in the Emergent Task Planner mini notebooks. There was like some bubbles were just slightly out of alignment, but no one has noticed in the past 4 years I've been making these things. So now they are, well, they'll fix them in the next run, but I just made an update for that. So really that's all that's going on so far this week. Oop, there's my 15-minute timer. We've been getting a whole bunch of people in the chat room. Like there's 3 new people in the chat room, our co-working chat, which is really exciting. Let me close this window here. So hi, if you're watching this, it's great to have you. It's getting to the point where I can't remember everybody's name now though, so I apologize if I forget your name or ask you the same question twice. But it looks like the energy level is going up. It'll be interesting to see if now the chat room becomes too distracting. It's always going to be, kind of a balancing part that we want to have in the virtual co-working chat. And let me just bring it over here so you can see what I'm talking about. Let me switch to screen. And why is that popping up? No! So yeah, we have, it's been quite active. We've got people all around the world. It looks like Dan's here. He's doing something in Premiere. We have, good lord, we have like 20 people, over 20 people in the room. That's not even counting like people who are like the newcomers. Why are these guys grayed out though? Oh, because I switched that. I should fix that later. But we have some people in noisy work, although a few people are muted. But it's been pretty active. I think it's great. It'll be important to control the structure, the culture and structure of the chat room as it grows. So what I'm going to switch to next though is planning. I think that's what I said I would do. New ETP design. Oh, this week the theme for work is going to be work. Last week was my my me week. I was working on things that were important to me, like the Emergent Task Planner reprints. So those got moving, and it took a surprising amount of time. Had a good insight into how much time it actually takes me to get some of these things done, instead of beating myself up all the time, saying like I'm not doing enough. But let me grab this notebook here. This week is JavaScript work for a client educational project. I had to do some infrastructure on the system itself, get my head into it. This is going to be a 2-week burn on this. That's 2 sprints, and we are playing around with agile development in our very small development group. So it's like just me, two developers. One of them is the principal of the company that I am doing the work with. And the company itself is doing the work for the research institutions. And there's a couple of people in who are also part of the team from there. along with all the grad students. So anyway, I'm hoping that having devoted an entire week to my own project, primarily, that is, will have me settled enough so I can work on this stuff without feeling I'm missing out on things. So I'm trying a 2 weeks on, 1 week off schedule as a pacing mechanism. I have so much stuff going on, I realize. It didn't seem like a lot to me at first, but it actually is quite a lot for me to handle anyway, with my mental capacity. But yeah, so that's going to be the theme this week. I haven't really had anything new, bought anything new that's interesting. No. That's surprising. I've been kind of like saving money, I guess. But let's go start playing the week. Get this camera over here. Whoa. Alright, so this is last Friday's. I need to get a hole puncher because I'm going to archive these. Hey, kitty. The cat blinked at me. That usually means something good. Blink. So let's punch these. I'll need to use this as a reference to fill out today's. And let me put this back up here. And let me put this in this book here. These are the pretty binders I bought last week. So this starts in January. This is last, so I need to stick them in here. I probably should go and see if they have any more of these binders, because it looks like I'm going to fill this up for the year. I already restarted this. This is about 3 months worth. Oh, this is backwards too. Friday, Wednesday, Tuesday. Where's the Thursday one? Thursday. Oh, I also ordered the super fancy binder that Don in the chat room had mentioned. He works as, I think he worked as a civil engineer. He's retired now. But civil engineers have a need for extensive bound documentation. And so there are these special binders that have a different mechanism. They kind of, instead of being round like these, they're actually somehow they're flat. So you can have hold a lot of paper and not have the issues that ring binders have. So I ordered one to see what it's like. Those might be the binders to get. It'd be nice to source those out too. Alright, so I'm going to put this aside for now. And I think the next thing to look at is like the OKRs. Object Key Results. This is something that Roberto started up in the chat room. And a lot of us have jumped onto it because it's a cool idea. We're all implementing it a little bit different. The idea of an OKR is like you have an objective and then you have a key result. A key result is something that contributes to the objective in a measurable way. So instead of saying, like, let's say like one of your objectives is loosely to grow sales, the key result would be not go and try to make more sales, which would be unspecific, but something more like talk to 5 new prospects. You know, so that's a measurable result. So I'm trying to be more like that. This is a nice bridging concept between my overall strategic goals for the year, which are related to like the side business. And actually here, these are my strategic goals here. The gain mastery, reduce frustration, reduce boredom, reduce isolation, have a cool side business, be useful, and then my 2024 creative goals. But reviewing them last week, I did not do this. I sort of did this. How do I make this sort of? I'll just write sorta. I did not do the DVD stuff. I did not do this. I did not do this. I did hang out with Sid. Did not do this, but his dad is in visiting, so this is not a good time to visit. I did do everything on the side business side of things. Doing the emergent task planner, a new print run, verified that we could do another run of the 75 sheet and 50 sheet pads, which will use the new design, and I did a bunch of testing on Patreon and a lot of updates related to that. Is that my hand? Weird. It looks a little blotchy. I was going to write a blog post about 2024 goals, thinking about dropping them entirely, or recasting them some way, because I'm realizing a lot of those goals are complete careers, each one of them, and maybe I've been making too much. Maybe I have too many things on my plate. You want to do other things. I sort of looked into making the minimal static site mockup by looking at a static site generator called, it began with H. It was like it wasn't a development tool as much as it was a prettier GUI. It was kind of like CodeKit except for static sites. So I determined not to use it. So that was last week's, and I already made this week's. I've been trying to reduce the number of things I'm doing, because these are all tasks that are extra tasks. The idea is for us using the OKRs is to make progress on things that are otherwise tend not to have progress made on them. This week I also reduced a bunch of these. So Gain Mastery now it has combined development stuff. So these are all the Durandal thing, an idealized interactive design foundation, making a really minimal stack site mockup. These are all, I will say, mastery tasks, although they're relevant also to my own personal goals. Frustration reduction, I combined two of those. So removing boxes from the basement, going through DVD boxes, those are there. If I can get to those, that'd be great. I dropped the review just as app thing for not be bored isolated. And not be bored, not be isolated is now combined into one thing. These are like social things that are also combined with having creative synergy with people. Since I did all the stationary stuff last month, this month I don't have any specific OKRs. Be useful. This is kind of I've been wanting to redo my website because my website is like such a difficult to review mess right now. I mean, if I look at it right now. I'm using this, what's this called? Moment? This is like something, I think, Madras or someone mentioned this Chrome extension that allows you to put to-dos and things like that. Here I'm using my RP character name just because it makes me smile. But it allows you to focus. Like today I had to focus on the Durandal conversion. But anyway, looking at my website, I mean it's passable right now. But it's not easy to find stuff. There's a lot of stuff on this website. Maybe the most browsable area is the productivity tools section. This is a template I bought. But much of the rest of it is fairly inaccessible. And there's a lot of stuff here that I think could benefit from redesigning this. So I want to archive all the old stuff and then create a very minimal website. I'd started to do it here with the investigation side of things, where I had notes on various things I was pursuing. However, I find this very cumbersome to update and edit because WordPress isn't really designed for this type of workflow. And also, I have been very irritated about having to spend all this time maintaining WordPress security plugins. So I want to get rid of this and then go to a static site. The primary things I lose with WordPress, other than like the plugin infrastructure, which I'm not really using all that much. Well, that's not true. I'm using quite a few things, but it's to overcome stuff that I don't go away when I go to a static site generator-based system. I do lose the ability for comments, but frankly, comments in 2017 really aren't worth the trouble to have. I mean, discussion tends to happen elsewhere now. They're not happening on blogs. They're happening more on Facebook or on social media and stuff like that. And now, increasingly, in this chat room or in my secret Dave Lab room, having a contact form on your blog is kind of like having a landline. And the only, even though I say, do not accept advertising, text, link requests, blah, 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 all I get is spam, from people selling me services. Like, do you need a guest blog post? Or do you need search engine optimization? No, so they're just, it's irritating every time I get something like that on this. And I don't want that irritation. So the contact form can go away. There are other ways to reach me on social media, and I can provide those links there. And frankly, having having people go through the extra step of having to click on another link and find me, rather than just like easily entering some kind of like random comment that's just marketing based. I don't want to make it easier for the marketers. That's basically what it comes down to. Although those people, it just makes me mad. Anyway. That's what I'm talking about when I'm saying like information architecture mockup, because I think I can make something that's just clean and minimal, mostly text-based, and then just archive the rest of the website into a static site as for historical purposes. Courtney just said comments are just opportunities for spammers. There was a golden time, maybe 2005, 2006, 2007, when comments were wonderful, but that time has passed. It passed right around the time the term social media, or wait, is that what is it called? So yeah, before the word social media was developed, or social media experts, I guess. I think I think that came around 2006, 2007, when social media became a profession. I think that was around that time. So it's just kind of become more problematic then. So those are my OKRs for this week. And I need to fill out a new one of these sheets, which I have here. And I need to look at last week's. So this is Friday. The first thing I'm going to do is, let me close this. Studio C. I should look up this company and see if they make other cute things. So Studio C, today is Monday, May 22nd, is it? I keep forgetting. Yeah, 22nd, 2017. And I got up around 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's interesting. Is that right? 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is just 12 hours? Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. And this is the long 13th hour. And then this will be the 14. This is the long version. So everything after 9 goes there. So let's see. The morning was maintenance or cat related medicine stuff. Also sweeping up all the dust from the cats. That's kind of my morning ritual now. This was drive to the doctor. This is drive home. Then I had they had the aquarium meeting. This was, what was he doing here? Was it breakfast? And puttering. puttering. Use these swirly marks to kind of call out when I'm not actually being productive, which is fine, but it's getting nice to see. I tend to use these vertical lines for kind of work-related things, or things that are kind of things I had planned. And I probably should dock. So I've been coloring these things to show stuff that I've been doing on purpose. Use different fill-in codes. Ink check-in. And then I want to do the Randall stuff. So I did that. This is the actual work thing. That's important to get moving today. I want to put in at least like an hour on that, let's say, just to get moving. So what else do I want to do today? Now let me copy these things down too. So from last week, I dropped Jess's thing because I know she's in a place where she's actually actively developing the app now, so reviewing the old stuff I don't think is as useful. But I do want to spend some time on Beverly's game grid design, as this has been on my list for like 3 or 4 weeks now. Then I want to read that error paper. I don't know why I'm not doing these. These are small, relatively small tasks. It's just getting that out in front of me that seems to be the resistance. I did have an interesting insight last weekend about, let me see if I wrote something down. So let me see, I put that in, I was trying a new app called Ulysses. Oh, it's just, I don't think it's here. Where would it be? Let me switch to the screen so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm giving this program a tryout. And yeah, so what I was thinking about was whether or not I am too comfortable. This may eventually turn into a blog post. What I like about Ulysses is it does some pretty nice formatting of a markdown document as you're typing it in. You can see like things like this. It's subtly like maintaining the format but not getting in the way visually. So I like this approach. It's indenting everything with the headers so this lines up, and that makes me very happy. So anyway, the concept I have was that being in my comfort zone means avoiding discomfort. And certain things about discomfort, I think, are the root of some of my procrastination. As I say here, if it's inconvenient, unknown, boring, really anything negative, then I drag my feet on doing things and starting them. So going back to like this, like doing the primary care physician hunt, for example, like I feel at the moment I said that, I feel my brain going, ugh, and it's like it got tired all of a sudden, and I wanted to lie down. It was just kind of like, I just had a very poor attitude about this. Because like finding a primary care physician is like one of those things where you're not guaranteed you're going to find a good one. And you don't know if they're closed or they're open. You gotta make all these inquiries, and it seems inconvenient, and it seems kind of stupid, and you had to push through that to find out, though. And it occurred to me that maybe one way I can trick myself into converting those negative feelings is to think of it as kind of, a matter of principle, but you need to be able to face death. To me, doing something boring and mundane feels like death. My brain felt like I was shriveling up and dying when I said I had to go find a new primary care physician. But then the other thing is being in the moment. When one is fearful or one is dissatisfied with or is even thinking about how something is boring, you're not in the space, you're not in the moment, you're in the past or you're in the future. You're imagining future discomfort, or you are remembering past discomfort. But it'd be in the moment of doing, when you clear all those things out, You know, that's kind of like if you are facing down the fact that you're just dealing with things as they come. You're not comparing them to your past negative experiences. You're not comparing it to future things that have not yet happened that you can imagine being bad, but you're handling it. And most things don't actually kill you. So to be able to cultivate that mentality of, you know, courage, so to speak. I mean, they seem like minor things, like, oh, I had to find a primary care physician. That's not very epic, but it still is in that category of being something that's difficult to face. And one thing we shouldn't do is like compare like our version of hard to everybody else's, right? So anyway, the cat wants some attention. Oh. Yeah. Anyway, oops, Courtney is saying something. Make the statement in a happy way. Find the best primary. I don't know. I'm doubtful about if I could find the best primary care physician ever. I don't want to spend the effort. Maybe that's my negative. That's my negative attitude speaking. It's difficult to overcome when it's so automatic, right, Kitty? Yeah, you don't care. You are 15 years old and like. Does the groundhog see his shadow? Do you see your shadow? Is there going to be another hour of procrastination today? Ah! All right, you can get down now. Or you can sit there. Anyway, let me finish writing up this list. I'll switch back over here. So, PC 2024 outcomes. Trying to write around this cat. This Art of Charm podcast. You want to look at that. TypeCon. And then Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's see that. And maybe we're looking into. It's your foot. Yeah, I think this is over now. Anyway, so this day is kind of planned. I just partially filled this out. Let's see. Is anyone else checking this? No one's in the live stream room. Okay. We still have audio. Good. So I'll fill out other tasks as they come to me. One thing I am going to do now before starting work is I'm going to go pop by the printer. Let me just do that. Visit Paper Graphics. And just talk to Frank, make sure that we're on the same page for this print run. So that's the What's Up day for today. This has been 28 minutes. And the cat is bumping his head over everything. So thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. All right? I'm going to see them tomorrow, right, Kitty?